Hi, this is Eric O'Dell with Continuous Testing Live, and I'm here at AWS reInvent 2017, and we're here at the CA Technologies booth where they're talking about being a DevOps rock star. Steve, you joined us here at the booth today. What are you learning from some of the people you're talking about?
What am I learning? I'm learning that there's a lot of challenges with the testing, and people are really trying to learn how they can better improve the quality of their applications. Now all these people here are using the cloud and they're deploying to the cloud, but their testing is still struggling. But we got solutions for them. We can help them out. But this is what I'm hearing a lot today.
Okay. So we're hearing a lot about continuous testing, but not everybody is actually doing continuous testing, are they?
No, actually, very few are actually doing full continuous testing. People are doing pockets of testing. Some people are automating their UIs. Some people are automating their APIs. There's little pockets of automation, but very little full continuous testing, which starts from the requirements all the way into production with the monitoring and getting that feedback loop.
Okay. So while you've been here, I've heard you talking to some people about automating the automation. Now that seems a little odd. What is automating the automation?
Automating the automation. So you have automated scripts. People have been automating scripts for years. I've been in this field for a very long time. I've been pushing automation for a very long time. But what people have been automating is they've been automating the UI. And even if they're automating their APIs, the problem is that scripts break. And once they break, you now have to rewrite those scripts. So you're not doing continuous testing because the scripts break. So you have a discontinuity. So what do you have to do? One way around that is automating the automation, have the scripts automatically made so you don't have to make them, and have them automatically maintained so you don't have to maintain them. Because one of the biggest problems why 70% of tests are still manual today is because when people try to automate, once the automation breaks, they don't go back and re-automate all those scripts they just did because they did all this work, they don't want to redo that work again. So automating the automation is key to continuous testing.
All right, and I'm sure that CA Technologies has a few solutions about automating the automation. What are they announcing here at AWS reInvent?
Well, surprisingly, coincidentally, we have solutions. Now, one of the things that we are announcing here is BlazeMeter API Test. Now, BlazeMeter API Test does the testing that you would expect to do with APIs, and we can help automate those and you create the scripts by hand, whatever, upload those, run those in our cloud, that's great. But the other thing we do is we automatically create those tests for you. You give us a spec of the API, a Swagger, Waddle, Raml, I don't care how you get me the spec. Get me the spec, and we'll auto-generate hundreds of tests for you. Positive, negative, edge case, SQL injection. How many developers are testing for security? So we auto-generate those tests. Now the beauty of auto-generating the test is you don't have to think about what tests you need to do. We do that for you. And then if the APIs change, they get modified, you upload that new spec. And then it's all done. It's all maintained for you. You don't have to do it. So automating the automation is huge. Now, our partner to automating the automation with BlazeMeter API Test is ARD. Agile Requirements Designer. Agile Requirements Designer is a way that you can build a model of the requirement. And what that requirements do, once you have that, we auto-generate the test cases. Once we auto-generate the test cases, we can actually auto-generate those scripts for you. If it's Selenium, Ranorex, Test Plant, CA App Test, Taurus, we auto-generate those tests for you. And then if you modify the requirement, we'll re-auto-generate those tests to maintain them. So we can maintain a full business script, and we can maintain the APIs. So automating the automation, key to continuous testing.
All right, so now you were talking about API testing. Now, we've heard about the app economy. What do people here at AWS reInvent, what do they care about API testing? Why is that so important today?
Well, there's the app economy, but the app economy is the API economy. Everything is API driven. People have APIs that they're using without any sort of UI whatsoever. So APIs are huge. The other thing is if you're doing API testing, you're getting down deeper in the product or your service. So you're not waiting on the UI. You're not doing a UI test. So you can test where the developers are. So as the developers are developing the API, you can test those APIs. You catch problems faster. You don't have to wait till you have a UI. And if you're testing at the UI level, not that you shouldn't test at the UI level, but if you only test at the UI level, what happens is once you find the problem, now you have to go back and see what has failed, which API was the problem. Test at the API level, do that first, make sure your APIs are good quality, and then you test up. And then the odds of having a high quality UI test is greatly increased.
Okay, so we talked about developers doing API testing. Now, if I'm somebody that's from the testing COE, I might be a little bit threatened about that. But how is the relationship between the testing COE and developers evolving today?
Well, testers that were in a center of excellence, that's transforming into a center of enablement. The testers and developers are now in the agile sprints together. They're in their scrum teams. So developers are doing testing, testers are doing testing, testers are getting more technical. Basically what's happening is there's a massive shift left, and shift happens. Shift. There's a lot of shift. A lot of shift happening, right? So come on.
Can you say that word?
Someone should be laughing. That's funny. Shift happens. All right, so what's happening is now developers are doing testing, they're doing developing, they're doing documentation, they're doing videos, they're doing verification of what they're doing with customers. There's so much shift that's going on. What we're doing by automating the automation is we're helping alleviate some of that shift. So it helps testers out, it helps developers out.
All right, thank you very much, Steve Filoni. Hey, and if I'm standing around here and I want to learn more about API testing, where should I go?
Well, just come right over here, and we can show you a demo of how to do the API testing. Or you can go to blazemeter.com, and then you can learn about API testing through blazemeter.com.